नमस्कार आपण समस्त को यही वीडियो बहुत बहुत स्वागत। तो आज वीडियो में आपण सहित +3 5th सेमिस्टर पॉलिटिकल साइंस ऑनर्स कोर कोर्स 12 यूनिट 3 जहाँकि कौटिल्य बारानी एंड अज्ञानसुत्ता समस्त इंपोर्टाट 2 मार्क्स क्वेश्चन आंसर मैं आपन शेयर करी आ वीडियो आगे मुझे कहबी आप पीडीएफ नोट्स टी किपर है पाइपर। तो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग एंड इंपोर्टाट चैप्टर टी हम देखा। तो फास्ट टाइम देखा हु वाज कौटिल्य। कौटिल्य कि कौटिल्य जहाँकि चाणक्य। तो आप गुड़ाए अनेक चाणक्य किए जानते। तो कौटिल्य कि ना कौटिल्य वाज द ग्रेटेस्ट पर्सन विथ वाइजडम एंड नॉलेज। तो बहुत ज्ञानी थे, बुद्धिमान थे। ही वाज ए की एडवाइजर एंड काउंसिलर ऑफ चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य। चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य से गोटे एडवाइजर काउंसिलर माने जी के प्रति क्षेत्र में गाइडेंस करवा, ओके, उपदेश देवा। हिज मेजर वर्क्स आर नीतिशास्त्र, चाणक्य नीति एंड अर्थशास्त्र। किसी वर्क जेपरिक नीतिशास्त्र, अर्थशास्त्र, चाणक्य नीति। व्हाट वर द 3 डिफरेंट नेम ऑफ कौटिल्य। कौटिल्य तीनोटी डिफरेंट नाम कौन कौन थिला? कौटिल्य, चाणक्य, विष्णुगुप्त। ओके, राइट अबाउट द एजुकेशन ऑफ कौटिल्य। Kautilya had his education at a famous university which is all known as Takshashila. He studied all the subjects religion, politics, economics. After completing studies, Kautilya started teaching in the university. जोड़के नालंदा यूनिवर्सिटी में पाठ पढ़े थे। ओके, what is the dream of Kautilya? Kautilya was the first who foresighted भारत as a united nation, माने अखंड भारत देखिले से। ही along with Chandragupta had succeeded in defeating the Greek invaders and Nanda king. His only dream was to construct happy, strong, self-independent and prosperous Bharat. Okay, what was the important contribution of Kautilya? The important contribution of Kautilya was Arthashastra. It is one of the influential treatises in the political science in the Indian civilization. It deals with virtually all aspects of governance in the monarchical state. Discuss about the types of state as stated by Kautilya, na state, vairajya, dualism or sangha rajya. What does Kautilya view regarding the function of a state? So according to Kautilya, integration method was a good for state. He support to comprehensive function of the state. The state should function not only to secure but also develop all round development of its people. What was the Saptanga theory of Kautilya? Kautilya favored the political norm of monarchy which was ruled by a single. He enumerates 7 essential organs of the state. They are Swami, Amatya, Janapada, Durga, Kosha, Danda and Mitra. Saptanga theory. Okay, मन रखता है important. Who is Swami or the king? Kautilya views that the first and foremost organ of the state is the king. राजा ही स्टेट रो फर्स्ट ऑर्गन आमर कोन आमर कंट्री रो कोन राष्ट्रपति फर्स्ट आसे। ओके, द किंग शुड बी born of high family and puts the qualities of virtue, truthful and enthusiasm. He also should the fountain head of justice. What should be the duty of a king? The king's foremost duty is रक्षण protection, पालन. He also asked to ensure welfare, well-being, prosperity and happiness. The king also administers justice in accordance skewed law, evidence, custom and न्याय. तो किसी प्रमाण आउ धर्म को आखे रखी सब लोग न्याय करबे किसी अन्य फैक्टर होइछ. ओके, व्हाट वाज द Kautilya's view on Amatya? Kautilya say Amatya plays an important role for success or failure of the king. Kautilya asked the king to consult with the member of the wider council minister in times of emergency. The inner cabinet assist the king to appoint the ministers. What are the names of important minister as described in Arthashastra? तो अर्थशास्त्र कौन कौन जेपरिक इंक्लूड द प्रीस्ट, पुजारी, प्राइम मिनिस्टर, द कमांडर ऑफ द आर्मी, ट्रेजर जनरल एंड कलेक्टर जनरल. What is the Kautilya's view on Janapada? According to Kautilya, without Janapada, there is neither the king or the kingship. The people should possess the qualities of patriotism and loyal to the king as well as the kingdom. They should be capable of bearing the burden of taxation. Discuss Kautilya's beyond the Durga. Kautilya considered that a strong fort in absolutely necessary for the protection of the state. He referred four types of Durga. They are Audaka Durga, surrounded by water; Parvata Durga, made of rocks; Dhanban Durga, surrounded by desert; and Bhan e Durga, surrounded by forest. Bana Durga, okay. ଜଳ ରକ୍ ମାନେ ପଥର ଆଉ ଡେଜର୍ଟ ମରୁଭୂମି ଆଉ ଜଙ୍ଗଲ ଏସବୁ ଦୁର୍ଗ ଥିଲା ଓକେ ହ୍ୱାଟ ୱାଜ କୌଟିଲ୍ୟ's idea on the କୋଶ କୌଟିଲ୍ୟ regarded the treasury as a permanent source of revenue for the state. The king should collect taxes through his officers from the maintenance of the state. ଏବେ ମଧ୍ୟ କ'ଣ ଟ୍ୟାକ୍ସ ଆମେ ଦେଉଛନ୍ତି ଆମ ଦେଶକୁ ମେଣ୍ଟେନ୍ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଠିକ୍ ସେହିପରି ପୂର୍ବରୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ରଜା ଟ୍ୟାକ୍ସ କଲେକ୍ଟ କରୁଥିଲେ ନିଜ ରାଜ୍ୟକୁ କ'ଣ ମେଣ୍ଟେନାନ୍ସ ପାଇଁ. The chief source of income of the state were the king's share of land produce, custom duties, and the amount of collective fares. Right about Kautilya's opinion on army. According to Kautilya, the king ought to have his command a commendable military force. The army must be well versed in military arts, be loyal and patriotic. ଦେଶପ୍ରେମୀ ହେବା ଆବଶ୍ୟକ, loyal ହେବା ଆବଶ୍ୟକ. It was a hereditary profession. Discuss Kautilya's view on Mitra. Kautilya disputes that it is indecent for the king to make friends and enjoy the confidence of allies in order to achieve the goal of Paraspor state. The friendship should be established with the power and trustworthy nations. What is Kautilya's Mandala theory of state? Kautilya's Mandala theory is one of the important theories given by him. It deals with the international relations and the foreign policies of that period. He employed this theory for the explanation of the empire with harsh measures. तो इतना Kautilya's Mandala theory. Next देखिए what should be the qualities of the king as referred by Kautilya. Kautilya अनुसार ଗୋଟେ ରାଜାର କ'ଣ କ'ଣ କ୍ୱାଲିଟି ରହିବା ଆବଶ୍ୟକ ତ he should be punctual and perfect by physically, mentally and intellectually. Punctual ମାନେ ସମୟକୁ time by time, okay, 8ଟା ମାନେ 8ଟା, 7ଟା ମାନେ 7ଟା, punctuality. ଆଉ ବାକି physical ଏସବୁ ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଥିବେ. He should have the control over senses. He should complete the objectives of religious, economy and work. Write about the sum of privileges of the king. He is supreme power. No tax can be imposed on him. He can't be called for witness in court. The king of Kautilya was not absolute discuss. Kautilya started about some checks to control the absolute power of a monarch. The king has to obey in saint and purit in religious work. The king had to work with the advice of ministers, धर्मशास्त्र and customs. What are the function of a council minister? Council minister function କାର୍ଯ୍ୟକ୍ରମ କ'ଣ ଥିଲା? Kautilya emphasizes on various kinds of the works on the responsibility of ministers. They suggest their views and with the best intellectual power, ministers should manage the security, the king and the kingdom. Write about Kautilya's view of war. Kautilya was a political realist. He assumed that every nation must act to maximize power and self-interest. He did not say to himself that prepare for war but hope for peace, but instead prepare for and plan to conquer. ଏହା ନେଇ କୌଟିଲ୍ୟଙ୍କର କ'ଣ ଯୁଦ୍ଧ ହୋଇଥିଲା ବେଶୀ କହିଲେ କ'ଣ ପ୍ରିପେୟାର ଫର୍ ୱାର୍ ବଟ୍ ହୋପ୍ ଫର୍ ପିସ୍ ମାନେ ଯୁଦ୍ଧ ପାଇଁ ପ୍ରସ୍ତୁତ କିନ୍ତୁ ଶାନ୍ତି ପାଇଁ ଆଶା କର ଶାନ୍ତିକୁ ଆଶା କର ବଟ୍ ଇନଷ୍ଟେଡ୍ ପ୍ରିପେୟାର ଫର୍ ଏଣ୍ଡ ପ୍ଲାନ୍ ଟୁ କନକ୍ୱେର ଆଉ ପ୍ରିପେୟାର ହୁଅ କନକ୍ୱେର ମଧ୍ୟ କର ପ୍ଲାନ୍ ବନାଅ. What was Kautilya's view on taxation? Kautilya realized that the critical role of taxation for ensuring the economic well-being of the society. ଗୋଟେ ଇକୋନୋମିକ୍ କ'ଣ ଟ୍ୟାକ୍ସ ହେଲେ ତ ଇକୋନୋମିକ୍ ୱେଲ୍ ବିଙ୍ଗ ହେବ. Taxes are levied for the maintenance of the social order and for the state to run welfare actions. What was the system in its law? According to Kautilya, the authority to make the law were not vested with the citizens. Laws are derived from four sources: dharma, next day, pharaoh, जहाँकि एविडेंस साक्षी आम जो कहते चरिता हिस्ट्री एंड कस्टम एंड राजसन एडिक्ट्स ऑफ द किंग। हाउ वाज द सिस्टम ऑफ एपिक्स ड्यूरिंग कौटिल्य पीरियड? तो कौटिल्य वाज ए प्रोडक्ट of the age of intrigue. The intelligence aptitude was very elaborate. He suggested for the species under following Jesus like Kopatika, Chhatra, Udsita, Vihipalka, Vedika, Tapas, Satri, Krishna, Rasada, and Bhikusugi. Okay. What is Dikonikaya? Dikonikaya is a collection of dialogues of Gautam Buddha. There are 180 such controversial dialogues. Buddha is himself principal intellector in conversation with his principal disciples. यहाँ को दिगनिकाय कहुछि। सो 80 controversial dialogues होछि दिगनिकाय रे। What is Aggannsutta? So Aggannsutta is the 27th sutta of Digonikaya collection. The sutta describes a discussion imparted by the Buddha to two Brahmins. He emphasizes the message of the university in the Dharma. Who was Ziauddin Barani? Ziauddin Barani was born in 1285 at Baran. He was the favorite courtier and companion of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. His important works were Tariq-e-Firozai and Fateh-e-Jahandir. How is the ideal Sultan of Barani? Barani's ideal Sultan was the component of the monarchy. He envisaged him an ideal person, having a person of noble, born with the innate sense of justice, wise enough to understand the conspiracy, the wicked, and to follow the path of Shariat. Next देखिबा what is Barani's view on merit? So Barani explained that God bestows on his creation abilities proportionate to their merits. So the qualities of excellence, greatness, and ability reflect a person's merit which must be honored. Right about Barani's idea on law. Law को नहीं Barani को idea थिला ना Barani categorized law into two parts as Shariat and Jawat. Shariat meant the teaching and practice of the prophet and the pious of caliphs. The Jawabit refers to the state laws formulated by the monarchy in consultation with the nobility. Discuss Barani's idea on justice. According to Barani, the king should know the appropriate occasions of both forgiveness and punishment while delivering justice. Justice न्याय कला बेले से जाने दरकार क्षमा कोन दंड कोन. Okay. He also recognized the existence of customary justice during the Sultanate period. तो इतले यूनिट 3 रो किछि 2 मास क्वेश्चन आंसर. नेक्स्ट रे हम यूनिट 4 जहा कि कबीर एंड अबुल फाजल रो किछि 2 मास डिस्कशन करबा. थैंक यू टू वाचिंग दिस वीडियो. जो माने कि नोट्स चाहती डिस्क्रिप्शन में मु टेलीग्राम ग्रुप लिंक दे देछि, आपन माने जाई पाई पारि.